You're watching the Quick Finishers Racing League on the Sim Road Racing Network.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Talladega, Alabama, home of the Talladega Superspeedway, stop number 10 on the 2025 QFRL Cup Series schedule. So glad you could join us here on the Sim World Racing Network. My name is Nathan Christensen, bringing you all the action here from Talladega this afternoon. Again, we are at race number 10 for the season already here, and it's going quickly, that's for sure. Let's take a look here as we have a good field of cars on hand to go for tonight's big win. We'll take a look here at the standings here in practice with about 10 minutes left, just under 9 minutes rather, left in practice here for the QFRL cars. Sitting on top of the leaderboard is the AutoServ number 75, James Nelson. Behind him is Mike Kerjlek. Michael Boisvert sitting in third, Dave Hara, and Michael Boone rounding out the top 5 currently on the scoring pylon. So we get set to go 349 miles tonight here from Talladega. 131 laps would be the distance for these guys. So let's take a look and see if we can see some of the on-track action going on. So there you see the 75 AutoServ Ford Mustang. That is James Nelson as he works his way through turns 1 and 2 on the apron, just coming back up to speed here in the final 7 minutes, getting that putting the final touches on that setup for tonight's event. Out of the corner there, you see that's the number 85 right behind him. That is his son, Tyler Nelson, driving that Husky number white 85 Camaro. Also on track, the driver of the 32, that is Michael Boisvert. They're on the it's like a Monster Energy Hoonigan scheme here tonight. Behind him is the driver of the 53. That is James Bowden driving that Racing Champions chromed out car. And then behind them on track, making his first start of the season, number 23 Columbia Toyota. That is Brendan Mathia. On track here in a little 3-car pack, practicing the drafting. That is the 17, disposed in that machine, and right behind him Tyrone Mill in that number 2, and then driving that 89 tonight is Bradley Wilson. They're quickly coming up to another car on track, driver of that number 15 LSPD Camaro. That is Dave Hillbilly Hara of Charlotte, North Carolina. More cars out on track. Here we see Chris Essery in the number 4, as well as Philip Chavez in that number 14 Mobile 1 Ford Mustang. Just coming out of turn 2 and getting up to speed here. Up in front of Tyler Nelson, has to make some evasive action there to avoid running over those 2 cars. For a few practice laps here at the end of the practice session before we get set to go racing tonight. cars here on track. There you see the team number 27 Toyota Camry. That is Ben Campbell. Ben picked up the win last time out here with the Quick Finishers Racing League at the Bristol Motor Speedway, so he picked up his first win of the 2025 season. There behind Dave Hilbert, they closed the gap there in front of him to the driver of the number 2 car, Tyrone Gill. Looks like we have a new leader on top of the scoreboard. Oh, that is Chris Essery. Title match in the 4 Ford Mustang with driver of the 14, Philip Chavez, and the Mobile 1 Ford right behind him. They have gone to the top of the scoring pylon here late in practice. There's just a handful of minutes left before we get set to go qualifying. 2 laps, the fastest of your 2 laps will set your starting position for tonight's 131 lap affair. Another race winner on the year, driver of the Home Depot number 74 Camaro. That is Ryan Steinhoff. The victory at the Dakota Road Course race here earlier this season. A new entry in the field this week, the number 33. That is Brian Burchett in the what looks to be the Coffee number 33 Camaro there, working his way through the tri-oval. One tonight as well. Just under a minute left to go here in practice before we get set for single car qualifying. 2 laps, fastest of your 2 laps will set your starting position here tonight for 349 miles, 131 laps around the 2.66 mile long Talladega Superspeedway. Just wraps up here again from Talladega. We'll get set to go qualifying in this one. Fastest car at the end of practice, that is Chris Essery. He will top the speed charts with Philip Chavez in second, James Nelson the top 3. Again, we get set to go qualifying, obviously with a 2.6 mile length of track. You got to get out on the track as soon as you can. Make sure you maximize your track time to get your full 2-time laps in. And you see Joshua Park Stanford headed out now onto the track. Dave Hare also in his number 15. Travis Rodriguez, Mr. Superspeedway himself, after picking up his 5th win in the AARL campaign last night. 3rd Superspeedway win of the year. Travis Rodriguez looks to be a man on a mission at the Superspeedway, so hopefully he has some good luck on his side tonight. We can see him again in victory lane here for his first time in 2025 with the quick finishers racing. Austin Johnson in the 77 also getting up to speed, just getting onto the back straightaway here for lap number 1 of 217 car. That is Randy Sprouse also getting up here and going here on the back straightaway. Michael Boisvert in the 32 Monster Energy machine. He is got his foot to the floor as he works his way down the back straightaway, looking to get to the green flag this time out of turn number 4. Greg Barnett also just getting onto the track to start his first of 2 qualifying laps in that number 38 Speed Society Chevrolet Camaro, driver out of the Speed Society shop there in that 38. Again, keep our eyes on Travis Rodriguez, looking to go back-to-back 2 wins in a row here at Talladega with 2 different leagues on 2 different nights. Driver of the number 7 machine headed down the back straightaway on his first of 2 qualifying laps. Looks like Dave Harrell will be working himself through the tri-wall to complete his first of 2 laps. We should start seeing some times populated on the left-hand side of your screen, and we will set the pole for tonight's event here. The QFRL Rocks 349, presented by AutoServ. First car to lock in a time, that's the 50 of Joshua Park Stanford with a 53.574. He's going to get bested though by Tyrone Yo and Mike Boone. 53.358 and a 53.378. Randy Sprouse goes to 3rd. Rodriguez up to 4th. Johnston in 6th. Park Stanford down to 5th. As the cars continue to complete their first of 2 qualifying laps here on the Speedway. We'll ride around here with Dave Hare one more time through the tri-oval. This will be the first time lap for Dave at the line. Hare goes to the top of the scoring pylon, but he gets bested by Greg Robinson and Greg Barnett, both right following Hillbilly's lap, as Zoltan Nudge, though, he goes even quicker with a 53.252. Zoltan Nudge out of Hungary there in that beautiful number 98 machine heading down the back straightaway. So it's Nudge, Robinson, Barnett, Hara, Tyrone Yo, your top 5 here, about halfway through qualifying for tonight's event. See if Zoltan can go any faster. He says no, he's had enough. He's headed to pit road, so that'll be the end of the qualifying run for him. Let's take a look here at Philip Chavez in the 14 car, currently sitting in 15th place with a 57.831. So a little bit of work to do to get that car a little higher on the starting grid for the driver out of the number 14 stable. So still Zoltan leading the way there on the top of the scoring pylon here with, let's take a look, flip this over to this. Just out of time here as qualifying comes to an end. Zoltan Nudge will be your pole sitter here from Talladega. Outside on that front row will be the driver of the number 3 machine, Gregory Robinson. Greg Barnett, Dave Hara, and Tyrone Yo round out your top 5. So take a second here to get the field all gridded up on the front straightaway. We'll step away while that goes on, and we'll be right back on the other side of this commercial and get set for the starting lineup for tonight's event.
AutoServ of Charlestown has been providing trusted, high-quality auto repair and maintenance services in Charlestown, West Virginia. Specializing in everything from routine oil changes and brake repairs, to advanced diagnostics, we service both domestic and foreign vehicles with precision and care. Choose AutoServ in Charlestown, your local auto repair expert since 2001. Now let's get back to the action on the track featuring the Quick Finishers Racing League.
Welcome back to the Talladega Superspeedway, here for race number 10 of the Quick Finishers Racing League 2025 Cup season. The field just getting gridded on the front straight as we get to go, set to go 131 laps around the high bank 2.66 mile Superspeedway. About 45 seconds left in the gridding process. Take a look here and see the cars getting lined up on the front straightaway. As you can see them just at the start-finish line, a field of 26 cars getting set to go for this one this afternoon. This field gets set to roll for the pace lap here as we take a look at the starting lineup for the QFRL Rocks 349 on the pole. Zoltan Nagy out of Hungary. Outside him from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, that is Greg Robinson. Greg Barnett out of Lyman, South Carolina, and Dave Hara from Charlotte, North Carolina go from row 2. Tyrone Yo out of Pennsylvania and Michael Boone out of Midlothian, Texas make up row number 3. Michael Boisvert and Bradley Wilson in row number 4. Ben Campbell and Randy Sprouse go from row number 5. Travis Rodriguez from San Antonio, Texas, and Josh Hetricks out of Elkhart, Iowa go from row 6. Tommy Osborne out of Eastland, West Virginia, and Strongville, Ohio, Joshua Park, Stanford go from row 7. Austin Johnson out of Lubbock, Texas, and Brendan Mathia out of Springfield, Missouri make up row 8. Philip Chavez and Chris Essery from row number 9. Brian Burchett and James Bowden go from row 10. James Nelson and Tyler Sievert go from row number 11. Jordan Marion and Ryan Steinhoff will make up row number 12. Michael Kurdzlek will go, and Tyler Nelson will go from the last row there in the row number 13 as the field heads down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. We get set to go racing, as I mentioned, 131 laps. The distance here this afternoon from Talladega Superspeedway. The leader of this one will be the 98 of Zoltan Nudge. Outside him will be Greg Robinson, Greg Barnett, and Dave Hara in row 2. Tyrone Miller, Michael Boone in row number 3. And you have Michael Boisvert and the 89 of Brad Wilson in that next row. Ben Campbell and Randy Sprouse. Travis Rodriguez there on the inside of that next row. Outside him, I think it will be the 25 of Josh Hetricks. As the field works its way double file down into the tri-oval, they'll get to the Geico restart zone, and this one will be underway at the discretion of the starter. Long way around to the Geico restart zone, so not quite there yet. Behind the 98, green flag is out from the starter, and we are racing. They rumble, they stumble, they bumble down to turn number 1. Turn number 2, looks like it's going to be Zulu Golden coming right down the halfway point of the back straightaway. He's got that inside right. He's coming down the back straightaway. That's A's Greg Barnett. Behind him, Robinson, Tyrone Yo, and Michael Boisvert on that inside road. Outside road trying to get some form going as Rodriguez will jump up in front of Dave Harris, number 15 this time out of turn number 4. Back down to the tri-oval into the stripe to complete lap number 1 here from Talladega. Number 1 will be led by Zoltan Nudge, a.k.a. Zulu, if you hear me calling that. That's who that is, as the second row is getting a little bit of momentum here. With the lead car on that second group, and the 7 of Rodriguez. He's getting help from Hera, Boone. That's new driver Bradley Wilson there in that 89, and then it looks like Randy Sprouse is 17. With the new car, gotta get used to the paint jobs we got out there, so I may miss a name or two, but we'll make sure we know them all by next week. Its way back down to the tri-oval here early in this one. 2 laps will be complete at the line. Top side continues to gain momentum and strength. Here's the ball for the last 24 laps. They work their way down. After team speed control and the speedway. Down the net with Robinson, Tyrone, Yo, and Boy there. The first 5 cars on the inside. But that second one already up to third place. Car door-to-door down the front straightaway. That's Rodriguez, Hera, Boone, Wilson, and Sprouse on the outside. Again, talking earlier before we got into the race, driver of that number 7 machine, Travis Rodriguez, has picked up 3 super speedway wins with the quick finishers, with the All-American Racing League on Thursday nights, as well as Atlanta and last night at Talladega. So looking to be the 3rd driver this year to go back-to-back wins on back-to-back nights in 2 different leagues, done by Ken Peck at Las Vegas and also Chris Essery from Homestead. So keep an eye on Juggles, Travis Rodriguez, as this race develops. He's able to join that group, that elite group who's won on back-to-back nights in 2 different leagues. Continues to get that good strong push from the 15 of Hera this time out of turn number 2 onto the back straightaway. Looking for a drag race, even Stevens down to turn number 3. Looks like Zulu will lead that lap as well as led all 5 since the drop of the green here from Talladega. But Rodriguez using the help again from the 15 of Hera to get in a good spot here through turns 1 and 2 and get a big run down the back straightaway. See if he can use that momentum to either get right out in front and drop down in front of the 98, or if he'll continue to use the help from the 15. See the bottom line so strong through the corners. The outside seems to have a good advantage on the straightaways, but once the car starts to make any kind of turn, either to the tri-oval or the corners, that is when the bottom line flexes its muscle and pulls back out in front of the top. So it looks like Barnett and Zulu have broken away from the field a little bit by about 10 car lengths this time on the exit of turn 2. I'm sure just a matter of a couple corners they will be doing back in. As I say that, you can see the 3 car close right back up on the back bumper of the Barnett number 38 down into turn 3 and 4. if you're just tuning in on the Sim World Racing Network, glad we could have you along here for coverage of this one this afternoon. We are 7 laps into this one this afternoon. It's been all Zulu, Zoltan Nudge at the front of this one so far. Looks like we're going to have a car switching lanes as Tyrone Noah's got bumped out of the bottom line, and now he's in no man's land. We're going to have some 3 wide racing through the pack with Tyrone Noah with no help in the middle, and he's going the wrong way on a one-way street. And we'll get a little help from the 25. Of the 2 machine here, and they are going to maybe get some help from the car as they head up to the back of the 5-car Boone as Tyrone Yo will squeak in between the 89. That is Brad Wilson there in front of him, cut his nose off, so they will get that out of the middle and back into a groove and moving back towards the front with that outside line. Great racing throughout the field here, double wide for most of the pack, except for the first 3 cars, and we got a little bit of 3 wide racing even further back than that, as they work their way back down across the start-finish line, and almost complete the first 10 laps of this one. Looks like Rodriguez gets a little out of shape as Campbell had moved up from the bottom there. Nope, that is Boisvert, I apologize. He moved up to the bottom and threw that outside line into a conundrum of fits there, as you can see them now all trying to get sorted back out, but definitely have lost a ton of ground. Definitely the outside line going the wrong way here as Dave Hara and now Boisvert headed the wrong way. Now it looks like the 75, that is James Nelson in the AutoServ Ford Mustang. He'll jump to that outside line, be the first car. Might get some help here from a shove from the 32 on the exit of turn 4. Boisvert thinks better of that, doesn't ram right up against them because they were still in the corner, and that would probably be to the basket. Outside line now being led by Nelson, Boisvert. Then you got Hara and Rodriguez drop back to the 4th car in that line after that skirmish with the 32. Now Nelson gets a little bit out of shape halfway through the corner, and he's going to get caught in the middle. And he is going the wrong way on the one-way street, similar to Tyrone earlier. No space is quite yet for him to drop into. Maybe there he will drop down in front of that 41. Number 41 Ford Mustang, a Michael Kurdzlek out of Louisville, Kentucky. He'll get in front of Nelson will get down in front of him in the bottom line, and that will end the bleeding on that one. Up front, Bill continues to be the driver out of Hungary. The green flag. 10, 11 laps rather led so far this evening. Approximately around the end of lap 42 and 84, I believe. That again, yeah, 42 and 84 will be the stage breaks tonight, so we'll keep an eye on that as we get closer to the end of stage number 1. A couple of cars in trouble early in this one have dropped out of the draft. Looks like it's Tyler Nelson's 85 and Tyler Siebert in the 88. Have fallen way back of the pack over 11 seconds, 12 seconds back of the leader, or the back of the lead pack, which everyone else is still in. Then Campbell, he ends up down on the apron. Not sure if he got help to get there or not, but that's not the place you want to be as the first foul by on the speedway at speed. Still Zoltan Nudge leading the way in his number 98 machine. Barnett of the line in South Carolina. Strong finish last night with the All-American Racing League. Came home close 3rd place to race winner Travis Rodriguez and runner-up Chad Snyder last night. So Greg Barnett looking to improve his finishing spot by a couple positions on top of the podium. One and two being pushed is the 32. The pusher is the 15 of Dave Hare. They work themselves almost back up even with the front group off of turn number 2. Now Hare is going to go around the outside of Boisvert. They're going to be 3 wide, and everyone's momentum will get killed as they head down to turn number 2. There's 3 rather. The outside line though picks up a few cars in the form of Rodriguez, Boone, Tyrone, and Faya. They're going to get some momentum going back up again as the car on the outside looking in this time is the driver, the 32, Michael Boisvert. Josh Parks gets a little bit squirrely out of turn number 4. He's able to hold on to it, no damage, as he is continuing in the right direction. A couple of other guys had to make some avoiding maneuvers, but so far everyone's clean and green for the first 14 laps in Talladega. So now the outside row got to get going and formed up again here in this one. It's going to be now led by the 15 of Dave Hare, Travis Rodriguez, Michael Boone, Tyrone, and that's the 22 car of Brandon Fire. There, the driver of the 25, Josh Hetricks, and I see Michael Boisvert jump back up into that outside line. This field works its way through turns 3 and 4 here on lap number 15. Sponsored Chevrolet Camaro of Charlotte, North Carolina's Dave Hare gets a good run that time into turn number 1 and 2. He's almost even at the front with the Zulu number 98. He's going to get a bump on corner exit from the 7 of Rodriguez. They're going to get a strong run down the back straightaway. See if they're going to be able to clear and move down in front of Zulu halfway down the back straightaway. Still holding on to that outside line. See if they make that move yet. No, they're going to stick to the outside as they continue to run that second groove. Boone, Tyrone Yo, Brennan Mathia, and the 25, 32, and 50 all up there working together with them to try to keep that line moving towards the front. Now it gets broken up a little bit as they go 3 wide with Essery, Boisvert, and the driver of the 25, that is Josh Hetrick. Back down across the stripe continues to be Zoltan Nudge leading the way here as Zulu in that number 98 has led again since the drop of the green. Further back we got some 3 wide racing as Boisvert, Steinhoff, and Hetrick try to sort this out around the midway point of the field. Looks like now Hetrick's going to be the man on the outside with no help up there as the inside rows will move by. He's going to look to maybe tuck down in behind the 50 of Joshua Park Stanford. This time through 3 and 4 he does just that. See if he can hold on to that draft and not lose too much ground to those cars in front of him. Work their way off of turn number 4 again. Looks like we may have a new leader at the line this time. The 15 is out in front, but here comes a strong run on the bottom from the bottom line. The 98, see if he can get back. No, we have a new leader for the first time this race. Driver of the 15, that is Dave Hare, will lead the way with the help of Travis Rodriguez. Now they will move down in front of the Zulu machine on the bottom row. That's going to leave Boone, Tyrone Yo, and the 23 of Brendan Mathia to lead that top line now as the field works down the back straightaway. Hare continues to be the leader, but Boone and Tyrone Yo coming strong on the outside. See if they are able to make any hay here on the top. Turns 3 down, out of turn 4 now, down to the tri-oval. There's Boone and Tyrone almost clear of the 15, but not quite. Looks like they're going to ride the top side here through the tri-oval as Brendan Mathia says, I want to go to the bottom. I'm coming down. So does Boone. That blocks the run of the 15. The 2 car gets right down on the rear of the 23. That's just barely avoids contact as everyone from the top looking for a spot on the bottom line. It's going to move 4 cars up the top. Tyrone Yo, Michael Boisvert, Joshua Park Stanford, the 25, that is Josh Hetricks, and then the 75, the white AutoServ machine, that is James Nelson. That gap on the outside, the bottom line, one moving quickest on the inside. That's the 5 of Boone. He led the last lap at the line. He's got help from the 5 Hare, Rodriguez, and now Zulu back to 5th here on lap number 19. As Tyrone Yo will get caught in the middle once again as Boisvert, Stanford, Parks, and Hetrick look to go around the outside of the 2 there a little bit further back. To try to get by here. Oh, it's parks Stanford up into the wall there. That's going to slow him down. No one else able to avoid him, but he's still having to ride that high side and try to get that thing back in line. As Boisvert cleared the two of Tyrone Yo there on that outside, he works back towards that. Can't push down the back straightaway. Up front though, Boone continues to lead the way with the help of, we got trouble as Tyrone Yo in the back of Boisvert. He does a 360, nowhere to go for the 50 car of Joshua Park Stanford, and the yellow is out. That is a big hit there for the driver of the 32 and 50. Let's take a look to see what happened, bringing out the caution here on lap number 19 from Talladega. The 32 car too far off the front bumper of that number 2 car, resulting in him getting spun out. As we're going to take another look here. Oh, we got some more action going on back in the pack. Not sure what happened there, but we'll try to take a look at the first replay and then we'll go back to the second incident. So here you can see the shove down into turn 3 and 4 by the 2 car. Just gets the front line, and number 32 spins himself out. Was pretty clear of hitting anyone, and then drifted back up to the top of the track, and the driver of the number 50 car had nowhere to go through turns 3 and 4. There you can see the contact made by the 50 and 42. So now we have taken a look at that. Let's see what else happened, because there seemed to have been another accident under caution that included a few cars. Oh, looks like James Nelson may not have been looking out the front window. He gets into the back of the 41, who then gets up into the side of the 25, so not ideal for any of those drivers. We'll take another look here. You can see the 75 of Nelson coming in with a head of speed, tries to swerve to avoid the contact with the 41, but just too late, nowhere to go for him and the 41. We'll take one more look at it, and excuse me, the innocent bystander of it all, the number 25 there, just caught losing under caution. He gets collected by the 41. Hopefully not too much damage to any of those cars. They all seem to have come down pit road to the attention of their pit crews, so any dents, and scratches should be able to be sorted out while on pit road here early in this one. So again, caution out on lap 19 for an incident involving the number 32 of Michael Boisvert, the 2 of Tyrone Yo, the 4 might have caught a piece right there of it, and then the 50 car, nowhere to go through turns 3 and 4, just drills the 32, both of those cars. Substantial damage, and looking to get the repairs fixed on pit road. So some other cars getting completed pit stop work and headed back out onto the racetrack. Up front though, after pit stop cycles, looks like a couple of cars are elected to maybe take fuel only. Sorry about the coughing. Bradley Wilson and Brendan Mathia will be the front row for this restart. It looks like the 89 and the 23 there on track. And it'll be Zulu, Zookton, Nudge, Greg Robinson, Michael Boone, Greg Barnett, the top 6 for the restart. They should get the 1 to go signal this time out of turn number 4. We'll double them up and come back to green next time around. Still on the lead lap here as we get set to go back racing at the completion of lap number 23. Will be 109 laps left to go, looking for lap number 48 to end the first stage. So halfway through stage number 1, perfect time for a caution to come out, as these guys would not have been able to make it all the way through the end of the stage. So perfect time to top up the fuel tank to make a run to the end of stage number 1. Down the back straightaway, 2x2. It's going to be Wilson and Mathia. Robinson on the outside of row 2. That's Zulu on his inside. Got Boone and Barnett in the third row. Then Hera and Rodriguez working row number 4. Looks like it's going to be Essery and Austin Johnston in row number 5. Tommy Osborne in that 28 machine inside Ryan Steinhoff on his outside. Then you have the 14 of Philip Chavez and Brian Burchett in the number 33 car. And then it looks like it's going to be, what do we got here? We got the 25 of Josh Hetricks inside the 27 of Ben Campbell. Then you got the 75. That is James Nelson. He will be inside Tyrone Yo. Right behind him is Tyler Nelson. And then outside that car is the Tyler Sievert 88. Behind them you got Randy Sprouse, Jordan Marion back there, as well as Tyler Sievert in the mix. The 53, the 41, the 50, and the 32, all in order. Back to back of the field. The field will double up, get set to go back racing into the Geico restart zone. First car to fire needs to be the Bradley Wilson, number 89. He does, and we are back racing here at Talladega. Front straightaway they go. Shoving number 3 car out back on the bias 23. They get that all sorted out, get lined up, and try to make a run on the top side. The bottom side, though, leads the way out of turn number 2. It's Wilson, Zulu, Boone, Hera, and Essery on the bottom. The top side gets a good run down the back straightaway. It's going to let the 23 and the 3 clear inside there. Let's up down. That's going to leave Barnett and Rodriguez there. The first 2 cars now pushing hard on the outside with Johnston and the 33 machine. And Campbell in the pink number 27 T-Bolton machine as well. Turn 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway we go here on lap number 25. Halfway through the Talladega, looking for that to end around lap 48 from what I believe was earlier. So we will keep an eye on that as it develops. Again, points on the line for the top 10 in the standings. Top 10 cars at the end of the stage will get points towards their regular season standings. 10 for the win, 9 for second, and -1 going back to 10th place. And all the playoff wins of the stage once the playoffs reset. So that is something else that will be very important come the postseason here in the Quick Finishers Racing League. Side by side, down the back straightaway they go. The outside line with the momentum, help of a 3-car push there, as they will get clear of the inside line as Barnett and Rodriguez down now in front of the 23 and the Mathia. That's going to open up the top now to Austin Johnston and Brian Burchett to lead that row. Then help from Ben Campbell, Tyrone Yo, and I believe that is the 88 of Tyler Sievert up there in that second row. So Barnett will come around, lead his second lap of the afternoon, but now we got trouble as the 38 and the 7 get together, sliding down to the infield. Barnett makes contact with the inside wall. The 7 of Rodriguez, he's able to continue without hitting anything. No caution, unfortunately, though, as the field continues on while those 2 guys try to gather it back up and get it back up to speed. Up front though, now it's Austin Johnson and Brian Burchett leading that outside line as they have all cleared the inside line. Now we got a bump there from the 88 into the back of the Tyrone Yo number 2. Gets him all out of shape. That's going to bung things up on the exit of turn number 4. Everyone seems to be headed still in this right direction though, thankfully, as we head down through the tri-oval. Complete lap number 7 this time at the line. Another new race leader here. Austin Johnson will lead his first laps of the afternoon. Johnston, Burchett, and Campbell, the top 3 on the inside row. Then you got Tyrone Yo and the 88 at Tyler Sievert. Then you got Brendan Mathia. Down the back straightaway they go. A lot of lane switching going on there as they get down to turn number 3 and 4. Side lane looking to make a surge here to the front. Got a little bit of help as it's Sievert, Mathia. I believe that is the 11 of Jordan Marion, and then the 17 of Sprouse up there on the outside as someone has flashed out and lost them. So we'll have to go back to a different camera angle. There we go. Looked like the 27 of Campbell was the person who had the issues there, but now obviously back on track and on screen is the driver of that 27. Continue to work here down through 3 and 4. A group of 5 cars have kind of broken away a little bit. Not too far out of reach quite yet, but have definitely a gap there between the next cars closest to it. And it's a new group running up front here in this one again. Austin Johnson, Brian Burchett, Ben Campbell, Tyrone Yo, and Gregory Robinson. They have company in the form of Brendan Mathia and Jordan Marion. Tyrone Yo gets way out of shape. Now he's going to roll down back in front of the 3 car, and calamity corner ensues as a bunch of cars involved in this one. As caution is out for the second time this afternoon, and it didn't go well for the driver of the number 2 car. Got loose in the middle of the corner, and then he just wasn't able to gather it back up. Almost drives into the side of the 23, comes back down in front of the 3 car, and then everyone just kind of piles in a little bit. Some cars able to avoid, but obviously not the result we want coming here in this one on lap number 30. We'll take another look from a different driver's perspective. Boone almost able to make it underneath the spinning cars, but then collected from behind. So he's got damage right there. And then the 88 is Sievert with the 89 machine. Also get involved in that one. That is Bradley Wilson, and cars just keep on piling in, but most of them able to get stopped in time. Again, we'll take a look here at what developed in the back. Sievert not really slowing down, just drove right into that at full speed as they all slid down in front of him. Take another look here from the perspective of the 3 cars, so you can see Tyrone go up to the top and then come back down, and Robinson just kind of took a hole that was there that closed up before he had a chance to react, and then everything starts to go haywire down the back straightaway. We'll take one more look off the roof cam of the number 5 Boone machine. Here we go. You can see the accident developing, and then Boone just nowhere to go as the accident goes back up in front of him, and then gets hit from behind by the 89 and the 88, spinning out and coming to a stop sideways on the back straightaway. So he has been able to continue under his own power, has the 5 car. Looks like the only driver who sustained a mechanical black flag is that number 89 machine, slowly making his way back around to the pits, which should open up this time. Out front though, the leaders continue to stay on track, will not come down pit road. We're going to step away for a quick break here on the SimWorld Racing Network. You're watching the Quick Finishers Racing League, the QFRL Rocks 349, presented by AutoServ.
If your engine isn't performing as it should, AutoServ in Charlestown, West Virginia, has the expertise to diagnose and repair the issue. Whether it's a rough idle, oil leaks, overheating, or a sudden loss of power, our skilled mechanics will provide accurate diagnostics and reliable repairs. We handle everything from routine maintenance to complete engine rebuilds, ensuring your vehicle runs smoothly and efficiently. Keep your car road ready. Call AutoServ today to schedule your engine service. Now let's get back to the action on the track featuring the Quick Finishers Racing League.
Welcome back to the SimWorld Racing Network's presentation of the Quick Finishers Racing League race number 10 from the Talladega Superspeedway. This is the QFRL Rocks 349, presented by AutoServ, as we get set to go back racing here shortly. Just under caution, should see the one to go sign this time out of turn number 4 for the field to double up and get back in line. So this caution may have had a big help, has been a big help to two drivers in particular. The drivers are Travis Rodriguez in that number 7, and as well as Greg Barnett in the 38. Those two drivers involved in a caution or a incident earlier in the stage that did not bring out a caution and put them off the pace of the leaders. Take a look and see what happened here. So Barnett just gets up and then tries to come back down across the nose of the 7. Rodriguez able to continue, but Barnett got into the inside wall there, so both able to continue, but we're well back of the lead pack, so this caution has given them the opportunity to catch back up with the group and see if they can work together to get back to the front of this one. Field works its way out of turn number 4, coming down to the straight to get the one to go signal this time. Leader does have lane choice in this one, so it looks like the driver of the 77 race leader, Austin Johnston, will start from the top on the outside. He's going to be in front of the Mathia 23. The inside row is going to be Ryan Burchett in the 33 with the 27 of Ben Campbell behind them. Row 3 is going to be a couple of team cars, the 11 of Jordan Marion and the 17 of Randy Sprouse. Behind them, a couple of Quick Finisher Racing League veterans, the 41 of Kurds, Mike Kurgelek, and the 75 of James Nelson. Zoltan Nudge, Zulu, and the 15 of Dave Hare will go from the next row. Looks like it's going to be Tyler Nelson and Tommy Osborne there in row number 6. James Bowden on the inside, Hetrick on the outside. You got Boisvert and Steinhoff in that next row. Then you got, should be Tyler Sieverts, 88, inside the 50 of Josh Parks Stanford in row 9. Philip Chavez and Chris Essery will make up row number 10. There's Rodriguez and Boone. And then you got Robinson, Tyrone Yo, Greg Barnett, and the 89 of Bradley Wilson making up the tail end of this one. Looks like Nelson, though, unfortunately lost a lap there after that incident, so he will be the one and only car one lap down. So if this one stays clean and green to the end of the stage, he will be in position to collect that Lucky Dog award. But if a caution comes out for another reason and he's not involved, he also got the Lucky Dog. So in a good spot here with about 15 laps to go in stage number 1. Down into the Geico restart zone. First car to fire will be the 77 of Austin Johnston on the outside. He will look to get on the loud pedal. Green flag back out, and we are racing again here at Talladega, and we are off like a herd of turtles. So she gets a good jump there on the outside. And we'll hang teeter down in front of Ryan Burchett, number 33 there, as now he will be in front again here at the green flag. Inside row has momentum through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Johnston, Burnett, Campbell, the 75, that is Nelson, and the 15 of Hara. The outside looks like it's going to be, now it's going to be led by Nelson. Just as I say that, he jumps up in front of Mathia 23. They got help behind them from Sprouse and Marion in the 17, the 11, and the other Nelson machine, that is Tyler Nelson, 85. Bottom line working strong together here on the exit of turn number 4. Still the 77 out front. some help still from the 33 and the 27. Now we'll see Kurdzlek flex his muscle into the top 5, this time across the line. Zulu there running in 6th, and he's got company in the corner of James Nelson in the outside row on their right-hand side, rather, through turns 1 and 2. Field continues to work down the back straightaway. 2 lines of traffic developing and working together as they head towards turn 3 and 4. Gets a little tight there on the entry of turn 3. He's going to push up, try to keep it off the wall. He's able to do that. And more to the field as he will try to hold on to that draft. Work themselves back down to the line. Austin Johnston continues to lead here on lap number, additional lap number 5. Outside row, not even with the 3rd place car on the inside, so making some headway. They are that time. We're going to see them get a good run off of turn 2. A big push down the back straightaway. Car flashes out. He's back now. That's the Steinhoff 74. 5 cars all there hard on the outside to try to close the distance between themselves and the leader of the race, the number 77. Car 1 lap down at this point. That is the 89 of Bradley Wilson. As he was involved in that incident there in the last lap number 30. We have a 3rd row developing as they go to work around the top side, but the middle row says no kibosh on that, as it looked like the Sprouse machine drifted up in front of Steinhoff to end that run, so they don't have all broken up there on the outside, and now the inside able to pull away as more cars will get clear of the outside row. Nelson sees that happening, will drop down to the bottom. Austin Johnston in this 77. He's got the 33 of Burchett Campbell's 27. Hera and Kurdzlek your top 5. Then it looks like it's going to be Zoltan Nudge, rather, Zulu, James Nelson, Tommy Osborne, Tyler Nelson, and Randy Sprouse on the back half of the top 10. Sprouse, though, gets a run and some help from the teammate in the form of Jordan Marion. Gets that outside line around Tyler Nelson there into turn 3 and 4. We'll see what these guys can do on their own on the outside. Up front, though, still the 77, this time out of turn number 4. Texas leads this race so far. 12 laps led on the afternoon, this time at the line for the driver of the Realtree number 77. Through the outside row, seems to be getting some steam up and even with the back of the top 5. Some more help coming on the top in the form of the 23. That is the 85. That is Tyler Nelson. Then that 5th car in line, rather, the 53 of James Bowden, who will drop back down to the bottom line and get in behind the bully there, 32. Right here on the middle of this pack as the 4 and the 14 go to work, looking to make it 3 wide. Notice that the best pusher out there was the driver of that number 4 machine, James Essery. In that 4 Ford, was pushing people to the front at will, whether they wanted to go or not. I had a chat this afternoon with him, and he said he doesn't discriminate. He'll push anyone he wants. Anyone in front of him will get a push if the time comes. And it looks like him and the 14 car of Chavez working together to form a 3rd line in a 2-car battle there. A 2-car cannon pushing their way around that outside row to the front of this one as we watch this develop. pulls out a line of the 17 car, and him and Brandon Mathia will jump up in front of the 14 car. As Sprouse going the wrong way out of turn number 2 as he's stuck in the middle. He's going to maybe get some help from the 85 of Tyler Nelson down the back straightaway. Roars and snores down into turn 3 and 4. Still going to be Austin Johnson, Brian Burchett, Brian Campbell, Dave Hara, and Mike Bird's left with top 5. It's getting a little dicey here through the middle of turns 3 and 4 as Mathia gets to the outside as we got a developing battle up front as Mahara and Kurdzak have broken out of the inside line with the help of Zulu to make a 3-car charge towards the front. Hara even with the 33 car as they enter turn number 1 and 2, taking a good run on the exit of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Kurdzak tucked right up against the back bumper of the 5th lane, this time out of turn number 2, and the push is coming here. It throws the momentum, around the outside, down the back straightaway. Oh, as we got trouble, the 77, he gets turned up the track into the 88, and the caution is out on this one. Caution out by the number 77, spinning off the front bumper of the 33 here on lap number 42. Take a look at the replay and we'll take a look and see if we can see what happened in this one. So you see a push coming from the, again, just getting out center in the 41, wrong place, wrong time on that one as the 77 just comes up the track and into the side of the 41, then contact with the 14. Handful of cars involved, looks like Kurdzak, Johnson, Bichette, Zulu, Boisvert, and Chavez all got a piece of that. So we'll take a look and see how bad Zulu was involved in this one. So the 41 and the 77 get together right in front of him. And then Chavez also innocent bystander. The 77 comes back up across the track right in front of him. Nowhere to go for the driver of that 14 Mobil 1 Ford Mustang. So under caution here for the 3rd time this afternoon. Race leader is going to be the number 15 of Dave Hara there at the front of this one, driving that 15 Chevrolet LSPD sponsored machine. Second is Kurdzak, even though he was involved at the time of the caution. Going to be the 2nd place car. Then Zulu's going to come and get back up into his position also. Things are going to get a little jammed up here on the entry to pit road as everyone will head down to the attention of their pit crew. Every car on track will bring it down for service here in this caution here on lap number 43. Only car to stay out is probably going to be the 89 of Wilson, who I believe should get the wave around and the lucky dog as he was not involved in any of that disaster of the mess. So look for him to get back on the lead lap once there he goes by the pace car. So all cars will get back on the lead lap. The 89 of Wilson now making his way around to catch the tail end of the field. So here on lap 44, third caution of the afternoon here for the Quick Finishers Racing League. The QFRL Rocks 349 presented by AutoServ. So glad to be on the air with you tonight. Race number 10 of the 2025 season here as we get close to the end of stage number 1. By the time we get back going, should have a 2 or 3 lap shootout to get us to the end of the stage. So almost there. Again, points awarded for finishing positions 1 through 10. 10 points for the win, 9 for second, and drops by 1 respectively. And then 1 playoff point for the stage winner. If that driver does qualify for the playoffs, they will have 1 bonus point added to their total come playoff time. Again, thanks to everyone tuning in on the SimWorld Racing Network. So glad we could have you here tonight. Let us know how we're doing. If you have any questions or concerns, just shout them out in the chat. But right now we're under caution again for the third time, as the field should get the one to go signal this time at the start finish line. We'll get the field doubled up and ready to go back green flag racing next time out of turn 4. Field doubles up on the entry of turn number 3 and 4. Looks like race leader Dave Hara electing to start from the outside, so that is going to be the first car to fire. Once we get to the Geico restart zone, will be the 15 black and white LSPD machine. That'll make the inside car the 41 this time on this restart. Then row 2, it's going to be Campbell and Bowden. You got Boone and Osborne, Steinhoff and Rodriguez. Tyler Nelson and Sievert back there in that next row, and then it looks like it's going to be Tyrone, Yo, and Marion behind them. The field will work down towards the Geico restart zone. We get set to go back racing here on at the completion of lap number 45. Field into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out, and we are racing here again at Talladega. Good jump for the driver of the 15, able to clear down to the inside. They work their way through 1 and 2. Four wide racing this time out of turn number 4 as they get themselves sort of back out to 3 wide that time. As they try to get this race back underway without another caution here as we look towards the end of stage number 1. Pit road closed that time at the line, meaning we are 2 laps away from the end of stage number 1. And up front, it's going to be Dave Hara in the 15. He's got help from the 41, the 27, and the 53 this time out of turn number 2. The rear view spoiler cam looking back at the field from the 15 machine. They work their way through turn 3 and 4. And down to the line, we 1 to go this time in stage number 1. It's been Hara leading here since the restart. Kurgelek, Campbell, Bowden, Boone, your top 5, looking to score some championship points here in this stage. There's the lead group as they head down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. going to catch up. Looks like Josh Hetrick off the pace. He is going to hopefully be saved here, as he won't be lapped by the time we get back to the start-finish line. I wouldn't think. There he is on the left-hand side of your screen. No, down into the trial, the end of stage number 1, coming right here. See if Kurdzak makes a move to the outside. No, he's going to be content with finishing second in the stage. Stage win, though, goes to the driver of the number 15. That is Dave Hara. Caution is out for the end of stage number 1. That should have just saved Josh Hetrick if the caution timed correctly, as they had just started to make that move around the driver of the 25, but I believe he was not passed by the time the caution come out. We'll have to see how that shakes out, as the field will race back around and join the tail end of, or join the pace car on the front straightaway here again at the end of stage number 1. Field catches up to the back of the pace car as they enter turn number 3 and 4. Looks like Josh Hetrick does get to go around those leaders, so he will join the tail end of the lead lap, saved by the hair on his chinny chin, as he just got passed as the caution was coming out. So couldn't ask for better timing on that caution to end stage number 1. The top 5 at the end of the stage, the 15. Of Dave Hare, the 27. No. Sorry, the stage win went to Dave Hare, Mike Kurdzak second, Ben Campbell, James Bowden, Michael Boone, the top 5. Tommy Osborne, Travis Rodriguez, Jordan Marion, Ryan Steinhoff, and Chris Essery, the top 10 in stage number 1, as some of the cars come down pit road. The attention of their pit crew, top that fuel tank up. Hasn't been long since most of the field was on pit road. There you see Greg Barnett whizzing by, catching up to the leader, and then he will get the wave around, this time under the caution as the one and only car 1 lap down at the time of the yellow, so he will work his way back around onto the lead lap, and we'll be back to 26 cars on track, 26 cars on the lead lap, so pretty good streak going here in this one at this point. So pit stops complete as the field works down the back straightaway here. In this one, we should be getting the 1 to go signal. Next time out of turn number 4, see the field double up as we'll get set to go back racing to start stage number 2. doubles up behind the iRacing pace car. So, in a turn of events, the 25 of Josh Hetrick goes from second last to third on the restart, saved by the hair on his chinny chin chin that time, as the leaders were just passing him to put him a lap down as the caution came out to end stage number 1. Stays out on track, does not pit, as everyone else came down pit road except for the 27 and the 15. So that'll propel the 25 of Josh Hetrick up into the third position here for the restart. On the front row, though, it's going to be the 15 of Dave Hara, and you got the 27 of Ben Campbell. Josh Hetrick and Michael Boone look like they make up row 2. Then you have Jordan Marion and Tommy Osborne in row 3. Looks like Zulu and Randy Sprouse will make up row number 4. Rodriguez and Tyler Sievert in the next row there. Brendan Mathia on the inside. Greg Robinson on the outside. Joshua Park Stanford to the inside should be, I believe, the 53 of James Bowden to his outside. And the 89 of Wilson and the 75 of Nelson will be your top 16 cars on this restart. But up front, though, the car to keep your eye on is the control car number 15 of Dave Hara. Get into the Geico restart zone. They will fire at the green flag. And get set to go back racing. Green flag and back out, and we are back underway here at Talladega. Inside row, getting a good jump. It's Hara, Hetrick, and Marion. Now Marion's going to go to the outside. That's going to open the door for Nudge to get up there behind the 25 of Hetrick. So side by side for second down the back straightaway. He's got help coming in the form of Ben Campbell and the 5 of Michael Boone. Still Hara on the inside row, leading strong with Hetrick and Zulu there. Ooh, a push from Ben Campbell with the 11 of Marion, a little squirrely there out of turn 4. They're able to gather it back up. That's going to open a run from the driver of the 88, Tyler Sievert, with help from James Bowden's 53 car. They look to go 3 wide around the outside here through turns 1 and 2. Things are starting to ratchet up here through the start of stage number 2. 53 laps complete last time at the line. Is there a 3 wide in the middle of this? Boone will get out of the middle and down to the bottom line as they still go 3 wide though through the tri-oval. Now Ben Campbell trying to get back down in front of Boone. Boone's going to do a gentlemanly thing and open up a spot and drop down in front of them as that second row now being led by Chavez, Esru. Then you have the 85 of Nelson, the 77 of Johnston who led earlier. Tyler Sievert and James Bowden going the wrong way with no help on the top. Out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway here and battles on to the middle of the speed. Up front though, Dave Hare continues to set the pace with Hetrick, Zulu, and now Rodriguez up to 4th. Marion drops down into the bottom lane. He is sitting in 5th. Osborne, Mathia, Robinson there, the inside row of cars. Again, keep an eye on the outside as Chavez and Esri make a 2-car push to the front. Saw this developing a little earlier in stage number 1, but then someone pulled up in front of them, ending the run. So they have this 2-car draft figured out. As I mentioned earlier, the car that you want to be pushing is that number 4 car down the back straightaway. They're always going to shove Chavez right to the lead if he can do it. Pulls out the line a little bit, gets some air on the nose, and temperature drops back down. Now we got a battle up front as they go 3 wide in the middle again. Johnston, Nelson, and I believe that is the 28 of Osborne there on the bottom with Boone in the mix also. Another side-by-side coming through the tri-oval. Looks like it's going to be Chavez has the advantage, but the bottom line with the momentum should see Hera maybe snip it out at the line. As I say that though, Chavez leads his first lap of the afternoon. Up down turn 1 and 2 we go. The 14 now clear of the leader with the help from the 4 again. They work their way through 3 and 4. The outside lines gaining some steam in the form of Brendan Mathia there, as well as Robinson and the 2 Nelsons back there. 5 cars, 6 car group clear all the way of the inside line. First car to go to the bottom is the 75 of Nelson, as Robinson now says, hey, I want to do that too. I'm going to cut you off and kill all the momentum of the bottom side. Top side though still working strong. 3 kind of cars tucked up together here. Chavez, Essery, Mathia. Now Nelson will get to the back bumper of the 23 through the tri-oval. Chavez will continue to lead here at the stripe. Robinson there holding the charge of the inside line, looking like lead his first laps on the afternoon if he can get up to the top of the scoring pylon here on this lap. Good push coming from the 75 there as the 15 and the 25 and 7 ride behind that inside row. 3rd, 4th, and 5th car on the inside. Inside row though still has momentum and the speed to hold off the charge from the bottom. This time into turn 3 and 4 they go. Still Chavez, Essery, Mathia, Nelson, and then Zulu, the 5th car on the outside with company in the form of Johnston. And then the 27 of Ben Campbell. Everything getting a little squirrely there at the back half of the outside line. They get that sorted out and continue back down to the stripe. Bottom side now able to pull even at the front of the pack. If you look at lap number 59 here, getting closer to the halfway point as we work stage number 2. Again, looking for the caution on around, I believe, lap number 84. Side still has the speed and momentum. Now they're going to drop down to the bottom. 14 and 4 still working together through turn 3 and 4. They'll come down and block a run from Robinson on the bottom. Down through the trial was still Chavez up front leading this one. With help from Essery, Robinson, and Hera on the inside. Mathia with help from Tyler Nelson, dropping back a little bit on the outside. Single file at the front now. The 5-car breakaway has broken themselves off the pack. They're a little further back. Hera got a good run out of turn 4. He's going to look to the outside of the 75 of James Nelson. Got no help though, so he's going to go the wrong way here after that move. See if he can get some help. Looks like Boone is coming to give him some assistance. Or that was Hetrick rather here, but he'll go around the 15 of Hera. Hera now though getting help from Matthias 23. He's going to push him back clear of the 25. Rodriguez running in that outside line now also. As Hetrick now the man on the outside looking, will go 3 wide with the middle row, and he will have to drop back to the back and get back in line at the tail end of the outside row. So 8 cars clear on the inside row before the first double foul. Battle happening on track between Steinhoff in the 74 and the 15 of Dave Hare through the tri-oval. Now North is at the line. Chavez, 14, the 4 of S3, the 3 of Robinson, Nelson and Hooley round out the top 5. Tyler Nelson, Jordan Marion, Austin Johnston is 6 through 8. Then you got Steinhoff and Tommy Osborne there on the inside row. With the outside being led again still by the 15 of Hera, the 23 of Mathia, and the 7 of Rodriguez. Works its way back down to the tri-oval, completing lap number 64 here at the line. 68 laps to go as we get closer to the first for the halfway point in this one. Slow car, lap car here coming up in front of the leaders. That is Michael Oldez, 6 laps off the pace at this point. And an issue between 2 drivers a little further back. Joshua Park Stanford and Josh Hetrick both got into the wall also and have some mechanical black flags. We'll take a look and see what happened between those. Just a little bit of drafting gone wrong there between the 15 and the 25. One more look at it. You can see that 50 gets a little low and the 25 gets up beside him by just a hair, and they end up both getting into the wall. Mechanical black flags for both of them as they head down pit road. Up front though, Chavez continues to lead the way as the second line really hasn't had any momentum to close the gap back up to the front of this one. So it's a bottom, the bottom line has driven away here in the middle of stage number 2 towards the end of stage number 2, coming at the completion roughly of lap number 84. Now the top side getting a little bit more momentum going as we have some more cars going. And that lead car, the pink one, is the 88 of Sievert. As I say that though, Marion jumps up in front of him. And cars go from the bottom to the top. It all but kills the momentum of anything developing up there at the last second. That cutting that second row off has done nothing but be detrimental to the momentum they have gathered. Back down now through the tri-oval they go. Continues to be the 14 car. We'll keep an eye on the outside line. See if they can make up any ground here. And lap number 68. after thinking he could get a run on the top side. 11 and Marion kills the momentum of the top side, breaks up the whole line, and then he ducks down back to the bottom and leaves everyone else high and dry on the outside as they continue to battle side by side here. Halfway through the field, Boone on the inside, Sievert on the outside. You got Hera, and then that is the 89 machine of Wilson also. The 53, that is Bowden, and the 27 of Campbell make up the inside row. Sievert, Zulu, Mathia, Strauss, and that last player is on the outside row. That is, I believe, the Rodriguez, number 7. Going forward though, as that top row continues to lose spots and momentum, as everyone seems to be jumping down to the bottom and getting in line, running along the yellow line up front. Seems to be the 14 car. 12 laps right on the afternoon here as we are past the halfway point in this one. The QFRL Rocks 49 on the SimRacing Racing Network, presented by AutoServ, as we work our way out of turn 4. Complete lap 69 at the line. Pit stops are underway here in stage number 2 as 5 cars make it down to pit road without incident as the field build continues under green down into turn 1. New race leader Greg Robinson at the line. He has got the 75 built in his tire tracks. That's James Nelson. And Tommy Osborne's 28. Jordan Marion in the 11. You got Boisvert there in the 32. Tyler Nelson in the 85. Keep in mind Boisvert 7 laps down to the field, unfortunately at this point for the driver of the 32. This first group of 5 cars complete their pit stops. We'll see here how many come down pit road on this pass by. Doesn't look like we have any takers on this lap as they continue around under green. Here, Robinson being pushed by the 75, Colton Nelson, the 28 Osborne, Marion's 11, and then in 5th place is the Tyler Nelson 85, keeping in line with 32 is 7 laps down. Walker, Sievert, and then the 7 of Rodriguez back there, battling with Bowden, Campbell, and Strauss in that group in the back half of the top 10. Though continues to be the driver out of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. That is Greg Robinson coming back down across the stripe through the trial. Again, no one down the pit road in this group. Just thinking back to the last time those other cars were on pit lane, some of them stayed out at the last caution, so would have needed fuel before some of these other cars, so that is probably what dictated them coming down pit road and the strategy playing out like it is. Into the elite spoiler cam, looking out of the back early in the 3 car, into the windshield of the 75, and the rest of the field there working through the trial, back down across the stripe. 73 laps complete here. As the field works still under green flag in stage number 2. Handful of drivers already completed their stage 2 pit stop, with a majority of the field yet to come down. to pit road. Last group last on pit road at lap number 50. Excuse me. So a few more cars headed to pit road as I say that. Sultan Nagy, Ben Campbell, and Travis Rodriguez all headed down pit road here on lap number 73. See how far this group can make it here. We're seeing more cars breaking off. Another group of cars headed down pit road. Jordan Marion, Tommy Osborne, Michael Boone, Tyler Sievert, Bradley Wilson, James Bowden, and Randy Strauss all headed to their pit crews. That leaves 4 cars left on track to pit here in this front group. Robinson, Nelson, and Matthias to still come down pit road. A few more cars that aren't in the lead pack. Tyrone Yo, Brian Burchett's 33, and Kurdzlek's 41. All still need to pit here. Last on pit road around lap number 50 for those drivers. And here come the 3 cars rather, that have not pitted. As Boisvert will get one of his laps back, but be on still 6 laps down at this point. As Matthias also comes down pit road, we'll see if this group of 3 also will be on pit road at this time, as they will be the last 3 to make their pit stops here in stage number 2. Looks like the group will be on pit road. Everyone getting down to, I believe, 55-mile-an-hour pit speed here, as the front 2 of that first group will get back out on track. Robinson and Nelson will be the first cars to head back out on the speedway. They should get gobbled up here though by the cars that pitted in that first group, as they will be just coming here through turns 1 and 2 on their outside momentarily. They will not, are they going to get up in front of them? They are going to blend back in, but not at a speed that those other cars are traveling at. So the first 5 cars to hit pit road will cycle themselves back around at the front of this pack, being led by the driver of the 14, Philip Chavez, Chris Essery, Austin Johnston, Ryan Steinhoff, and Dave Hara. And Greg Robinson and James Nelson look like they're going to get a little help from Dave Hara. Hopefully stay tacked on to the back of this lead group of 4 cars. See if they can reel in that gap of about 10 cars between the front of Hara and the back of Steinhoff. Going to make it look easy now as they close that gap right in. And we'll have a 7-car group here at the front of this one. Under 10 laps to go in stage 2. For the completion of lap 84. Continues to be a group of 7 cars out front by about 10 seconds of the closest competitor. And Matthias in the 23, who's kind of caught in no man's land. He will probably get munched up by this group coming up behind him in about a lap or so. As Jordan Marion leads the charge over Michael Boone, Tommy Osborne, Randy Strauss, Zulu, Rodriguez, Bowden, and Tyler Nelson. Will draw up on the back bumper of the number 23 car. They'll go to his outside and him back a few spots here in the running order as they get by around the 23. Up front though, Chavez continues to lead here on lap number 79. looks like Nelson may have lost a bit of the draft here as he sits 10 car lengths back now off the back of the 3 car. See if he's able to wind them back up as he looks to be closing ground on the entry of turn number 3. Continues to lead this one here at this point. Now 4 cars have kind of broken away as maybe Hillbilly and the 3 of Robinson look to slow up to maybe give a chance back to the 75 and get back in this draft, but now they'll put Tyrone Yo 1 lap down as he will fall 1 lap off the pace to the field as the back half of this group that was 7 cars is broken up substantially as we are now 4 cars strong at the front as the back 3 have kind of fallen off the tail end of this group of 4. So it's going to be Chavez, Essery, Johnston, and the 74 machine of Ryan Steinhoff working through turn 1 and 2. 51 laps to go that time at the line for the leader. Back straight away to lap 82 of the scheduled 132 laps here this afternoon. Chavez getting a big push from Esser that time through the tribal. They've opened up a gap back to the 2 cars and Steinhoff. But they get a run now to the outside. Does the 77 and the 74. They're looking to make a move as the 14 up the track, the door slamming into the 77. Now the 77 will clear them. They'll switch it up now as Steinhoff will stick to the outside, see if he's able to clear down in front of the 77 Johnston. Not able to do it yet, but he's the only car left in the top line, so he is going to more than likely get shuffled back to 4th here through turns 3 and 4. Back down to the start-finish line. They work their way through the tri-oval down to the stripes. Going to be Johnston at the line. Chavez will be in 3rd. Now Esser will look to the inside into turn number 1. Caution is out for what I believe is the end, possibly, of stage number 2. We have trouble though a little further back. Let's take a look and see what happened with the caution. Or what happened after the caution. So Bowden just drives through the back of the 98, who then collects the 17 with nowhere to go. We'll take another look at that replay. Gets a run down the front straightaway and then just drives through the back of the 98. Doesn't think to move to the inside or lift at all. He spins out the 98. We'll take one more look from Zoltan Nagy's view. Here we'll see him get spun out right there. They'll go down, hit the 28, and then come back up, and unfortunately 17 nowhere to go. Hard contact with the outside wall for the driver of the 17 Randy Sprouse. So caution is out here for what I believe was the end of stage number 2. I believe it was won by the 77 Austin Johnston, Chris Essery, Philip Chavez, Ryan Steinhoff, and Dave Hara, your top 5. Gregory Robinson, James Nelson, Michael Boone, Zoltan Nudge, and Tommy Osborne, your unofficial top 10 at the end of stage number 2. So 2 stages down, 1 to go, as we'll be right back on the other side of this commercial break to bring you the third and final stage of this one, the run to the checkered flag, coming up here from Talladega on the Sim World Racing Network, as we watch present the Quick Finishers Racing League Rocks 349, presented by AutoServ.
Let's talk about steering and suspension. This dynamic duo does more than just keep your ride smooth, they're critical for safety and control. The suspension absorbs road bumps, while the steering system ensures you can navigate with precision. If you're feeling vibrations, uneven tire wear, or a rough ride, it's time for a checkup. Proper maintenance can prevent costly repairs and keep you driving safely. Stay in control, schedule your steering and suspension service today. Now let's get back to the action on the track featuring the Quick Finishers Racing League.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway, the Quick Finishers Racing League. Quick Finisher Rocks 349, presented by AutoServ, here live on Friday, April 25th, just after 9:30 Eastern Standard Time here from the Sim World Racing Network studio. So glad you could be here for this one. Race number 10 of the season, as we get set to go back racing for the third and final stage of this one. Looks like the first car off of pit road was that number 3 car of Gregory Robinson. He will be the leader when we get set to go back racing here. Should get the 1 to go signal, I believe, this time out of turn number 4 from the start. Should see the field double up behind the iRacing pace car at the start finish line. Field doubles up behind the iRacing pace car as they head through turns 1 and 2. Front row of this one going to be the Greg Robinson 3, the Austin Johnston 27, Ryan Steinhoff and Philip Chavez in row 2. It'll be Dave Hara and Chris Essery in row 3, James Nelson excuse me, and Michael Boone in row number 4. James Bowden and Zoltan Nudge in row number 5. Then you got looks like it's going to be Brendan Mathia and Bradley Wilson in row number 6. So work their way back down the back straightaway. Kurdzlek and Tyler Nelson should make up the row right behind them. It's set to go back racing here. 87 laps completed, 45 to go in the end of this one. Obviously one more pit stop required to get us to the end for all these cars, as they cannot make it 45 laps on one tank of fuel. Field works its way down into the Geico restart zone. Control of the field in the hands of the driver of the number 3 machine as they get closer to that restart zone. Now they hit it. Starter's going to drop the green flag right about now. Green flag is back out and we stumble, rumble, and bumble down into turn number 1. Austin Johnston to sneak down in front of Steinhoff for second. It's going to leave the top line open though for Chavez and Essery to hook themselves back up and flex their muscle. But as I say, that Steinhoff will jump out of line from third to get in front of that outside groove. It's going to let Hara move to the back bumper to 77. And he's going to try to bring now, I say that as Johnston now jumps up to the top side in front of the driver of the 74 as they work their way off of turn 4, side by side for the lead at the front of this one. It's going to be Johnston and Steinhoff on the outside with help from Chavez and Essery, battling with Robinson, Hara on the inside, and they got help from Nelson and Zulu down the front straightaway. Robinson at the line, but Leslie on the 3 is in 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway now, a couple more cars jumping out of line from the bottom to the top. That's going to be Matthias 23 and Kurglex 41, but Matthias thinks better of it. He'll drop down back to the inside. The top side kind of gets out of sorts now as a couple of cars go 3 wide through the middle part of this one as Steinhoff is lost his position in that groove and now will go towards the back. As now we have Robinson continues to lead rather, and the 7 car of Rodriguez in 53. That car is getting together down the front straightaway, and it's going to turn ugly from that point on as the 85 of Nelson, the 28 of Osborne, the 27 of Ben Campbell, all involved in that one along with Zulu. Take another look and see how that all played out here as we are under caution on lap number 90 here in this one. Really wide down the to the side of the 28, and that got those 2 cars together, shot them back up across the racetrack, and a few more cars involved after that. We'll take another look here as you see the contact between the 28 and the 27. Up across the track, takes out Tyrone Yo, and an unsuspecting 88 car unfortunately does the 27 of Ben Campbell. So we'll take one more look at this one. Another 2 car, you can see out of nowhere here comes the 27, another look for Tyrone as he piles in there, and 88 also involved in that one. Nelson 85 did, you can see him get up into the wall. And just missing the spinning 27 car as he slides down to the infield. So caution is out here again this afternoon. Wreck involving 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars, bringing out the caution on lap number 90. Seems like everyone was able to drive away from the incident. Some cars obviously will have to come down pit road to the service of their pit crew. Fast repair it might be in order, and we'll see how it all shakes out. Up front though, Greg Robinson is continuing to be the leader and will stay out on the track here on lap number 91. Few cars headed down pit road, I believe. Rodriguez, Bowden, Kurglex, Johnston, Chavez, Burchett, Essery, Boone, Steinhoff, Wilson, Yo, Marion, Campbell, the involved cars on pit road, and some cars just coming down to top up that fuel tank here, as we'll have about 39 laps to go roughly once we get back going. As we have 41 this time around, we'll have 40 when we come back for the white, and 39 when we go back racing. Not sure if anyone will be able to make it from there. We'll take a look. Let's see here at the pit strategy and how long the longest stints have been this afternoon. So there you can see on your screen. The longest stint run by anyone was the Hera 27-lap stint. A few 25-lap stints, so definitely 39 laps is not something we're going to be able to accomplish here. So everyone will have to come back down to pit road at least one more time before the end of this one. Continue to work under caution here on lap 92. 132 laps the distance in this one this afternoon as we are working slowly but surely to the end of the Quick Finishers Rocks 349 presented by AutoServ. Should get the one to go signal this time at the line. Field starts to double up as we get close to the restart line, or the start-finish line rather, and we'll get set to go back racing here in 2.66 miles after this last pace lap. Field doubles up as it enters turn 3 and 4. You got Robinson and Hera on the front row, Nelson and Nudge in row 2. Set to go back racing. Green flag coming out at this time out of turn number 4 as the field gets to the Geico restart zone. Look for that green flag. Robinson first car to fire in the Geico restart zone once we make it there. Green flag is back in the air from the start of 40 laps to the 39 rather lap machine out of Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Leader this time out of turn 4. Harris managed to through car, but the outside now has big shove from 23 down in front of the leaders. here as the 89 forces his way down on the track, but there's nowhere to go as that's going to hurt Hera's run. He'll have to get out of it and try to avoid contact from the 89 that time through turns 1 and 2. He did not try to stop it. Third, then we're going to go 3 wide here for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th as the bottom side has Hera, Zulu, Robinson, middle Wilson. As that all kind of falls apart on him, Wilson able to slam the door shut on him. Get back down in that bottom line on this inside row. Back part of it has a little bit of work to do to close the 5-car gap. 5 straight away into turn number 1. We work under green flag here. 37 laps to go. A little bit of technical difficulty here on the broadcast, but I think things should have worked themselves back out. We'll keep an eye on it to see, make sure we're still live. I believe we are. We have 35 laps to go in this one as the field works its way down the back straightaway. They're still being led by the number 7 Rodriguez. He's got Mathia, Boone, Robinson, and the 89 of Wilson there on his inside. In that inside line, rather, the outside has a 2-car tandem developing. That is Zulu and the 15 of Dave Hare looking to close the gap around the top side on the front of the field. So we head back down through the trioval, put another one off the scoreboard as Travis Rodriguez continues to lead here. Lap number 98, 34 to go. Continue to watch this race develop here. Still no challenges at the front quite yet as Mathia pushing hard on the back bumper of the 7. Again, Mr. Superspeedway himself, Travis Rodriguez, back to back here on 2 nights in a row from Talladega with 2 different moves. He'll be the 3rd driver on the season to accomplish the feat, so we'll keep an eye on how that plays out here over the last handful of laps. You got Brendan Mathia making his first QFRL start of the 2025 season. You got league veterans Michael Boone and Greg Robinson there running in 3rd and 4th. New driver to the league, number 89, Bradley Wilson, moving on to the 5th spot, but he's got company. And David Hera in the Hillbilly Motorsports, number 15, working his way around the outside here as they work down the front straightaway. lap car get in the mix of this one. Looks like that's the 17 of Randy Sprouse. I'm sure he'll do the gentlemanly thing and just stay on the top side. He does just that as the field will work by his inside as they head down the back straightaway. Still battle on for 5th between the 89 and the 15. Now the driver of the number 3, Greg Robinson, will slip up in front of that outside line as they work their way down to turn 3 and 4. See if he can use the push from the 15 to get that outside row back up even with the front of the field. Robinson gets that shove out of turn number 4 from the 15, the 89, or the 98 rather, right there on the back bumper. Also the Hera 15 as they work down through the trioval. Turn 1 and 2 again. 31 laps to go here. Rodriguez continues to lead. Led 8 laps on the afternoon. Has a big run though from the outside coming here. Strong push from Hera to the back of the Robinson 3 as they will look to clear the inside row of Rodriguez and Mathia down into turn number 3 and 4. They do. They clear that inside row. The 3 and the 15 will move to the front. That's going to leave Zulu, the first car now, in the outside line. He's got help from a couple cars. Looks to be the 75 of Nelson and the 11 of Marion. Across the stripe at the line, Robinson will go back to the leader board. He'll lead his 17th lap of the afternoon here as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. Bottom still working pretty strongly there as 5 cars clear of the outside row. The battle for 6 between Boone and Zulu now developing as the outside will get a bump down into turn 3 and 4. Should pull them pretty even at the entry of turn number 3. Does get quite pretty even there as they work their way now through 3 and 4. They've lost a bunch of ground though to the first 5 cars there as they've opened up about a 7-car gap between the 5th and 6th place cars. Gap closes though as they get to the midway point and the start finish line down into turn 1 and 2. Most of the field pretty content to ride around here on the bottom in this late portion of the event. But 3 cars working that outside line. You got Zulu, Nelson, and Bowden up there. The 3 cars in line on the top. Robinson, Hera, Rodriguez, Mathia, Marion, Boone, and Wilson on the inside row this time down into turn 3 and 4. Turn 4 down through the trial, still in the lead with Robinson away. Now Nelson will drop down into the inside line behind the 11 of Marion, push him so hard he hits the back of the 23, who hits the back of the 7 as they get themselves all sorted out, but that leaves Zulu high and dry on the outside. Only car in the second lane now, this time out of turn number 4. He's going to have to find a gap soon or he's going to lose a bunch of spots, probably back to around the 12th, 13th, 15th place before he will be able to get down in line. Back across the line, Robinson continues to lead this one. Hera, Rodriguez, Mathia, and now Marion, your top 5. Nelson just sitting on the outside looking in there in 6th right now as we continue to work down the back straightaway. roughly about 22, anywhere from 16 to 22 laps since the last time these cars were on pit road. So remember, one pit stop left in this one for all of these cars to make it to the end. As again, the field works down the back straightaway here under power at full speed. 26 to go that time. Last time at the line for the driver of the 3 Budweiser's Chevrolet Camaro. Together there as they work through turns 3 and 4, taking on the bottom single file from first all the way back to 17th, the lead group of cars there on track. Everyone pretty happy to stay around the bottom till at least we get to the pit stop window, and they will be able to then make it to the end of this one. Safe to assume we are more than likely in that pit stop window as they've run 23 or 17. Some have run 17 laps, some have run 23 laps, just depending on when they are on pit road last. So everyone probably just riding this out until we get to that last pit stop cycle, and then hopefully field doesn't get strung out too much during the pit stops, and we'll have a good run to the end. Obviously something that will really shake that up is the caution race, because 2 cars drive away there as they've opened up about a gap of 6 cars back to the 7, but it's just a matter of time before that gap gets closed back up, I would imagine. Come as they close the gap right back up to the back of the 15 car as they work their way back through turn 3 and 4 here at Talladega. The shadows get longer as the sun drops in the west of the speedway as they work back down the front straightaway. Trouble for the 17 is Sprouse, the Campbell 27, the 17 is Sprouse, and the 98 of Zulu, all involved in that accident. Unfortunately, no caution comes out for it as no one is really around them. Everyone will seem to make it down to pit road, but we'll take a look at that incident here. Oh, looks like a push from the 74, got the 27 down onto the apron and shot him back up into the side of the 17, and Sprouse nowhere to go again in an accident none of his own doing. We'll take one more look at that as we ride on board with the driver of the 27 back up across the track. Not a good ride for that car there as he will continue on track under green, but definitely lost the pack in front of him as we continue to work here under green flag. Under just over 20 laps to go rather in this one. 9 cars all together here at the front, maybe about 7 cars, as the pack has split itself up into 2 smaller groups here as we get set for pit stops, as a group of cars already on track and back out onto pit road. Burchett, Chavez, Johnston, Kurtzlek, Esri, and Steinhoff all make their pit stops here for a run to the checker at lap 111. So the pit stops starting, we'll see how long the rest of the field stays out here. One more lap at least for this group of cars here leading the way. up the front two as the Robinson three will drop in behind the 15 now. They'll continue a 4-car group here up front. Mathia bringing up the rear of that. Behind, in front of him, Rodriguez, Robinson, and Hera back to front in that group. Then you have a second group of cars developing, being led by Nelson Boone. That is the Wilson 89, the 53 of Bowden, and the 17 of Jordan Marion in that group. So again, keeping an eye on when these cars will all head towards pit road, as half of the lead lap group has already done so. Nothing coming yet this time. We'll stick it out another lap here as we continue under maybe 18 laps toward the line for the 15 of Hillbilly Dave Hera. So look like more pit stops happening as Robinson, Boone, Wilson, Bowden, Nelson, and Marion all onto pit lane. That leaves 3 cars up front. Hera, Rodriguez, and Mathia still yet to pit here in this final stage. A couple other cars in the form of Tyler Nelson and Tyrone Yo yet to pit, but as I say that, they head down towards pit road. So we'll see if this is the lap where these cars will come in. It looks like it will be. The final 3 cars on the lead lap to pit are headed down to their pit boxes. The 15, the 23, and the 7 all getting filled up with fuel. I'm sure no tires will be taken to minimize the time on pit road. This final pit stop of the afternoon. Mathia hits his box, Rodriguez will hit his box, and then 15 of Dave Hera hits his box, and the race off of pit road as the 2 cars that pitted just prior to them will head out. Just enough fuel to make it to the end of this one. No tires, like I mentioned, for either of the any of the 3 cars rather that came down pit road. So they are back underway. Hera, Rodriguez, and Mathia lead themselves off of pit road down here on the yellow line as they work their way through 1 and 2. Should be able to maintain the lead over that second group. That's about 3.5 seconds behind them. We'll see how it turns out and if they will be able to get up to speed in time. Second group, though, being led by Brian Burchett in the 33. Doesn't look like they're going to have enough speed to catch them on the exit of pit road, but they should have a nice formed up line here to close the gap to them here over the last 17 laps. We'll see how fast they can close that gap to the 3 cars in front of them. Obviously, you got a pack of 8 cars working together and a pack of 3 cars being hunted down by this second group as they work their way through the tri-oval down the line. 16 to go. Dave Hera leads this one late from Talladega in the QFRL. Rocks 349. That continues to get smaller between Burchett and the back of Mathia. 7/10 of a second is the distance as the number gets smaller and smaller as we work down the back straightaway. Turn 3 and 4, the gap now down under a half a second between the 2 groups of cars, and we lock up here in no time. Will they take the run to the outside? Ooh, a big push from the 14 gets the 39 very slowly on the killed the momentum a little bit, but not enough to stop the freight train from rolling here as that group of cars works to the outside and looks like they're going to easily clear the inside 3. I say that as the 3 cars on the inside get a run back to the inside of the 33 and the 14 this time through turns 3 and 4. Out of turn number 2, big push from the 14. He'll clear the 33 of the 15. Will he drop down or stay in line with the 14? He chooses this latter. He'll stay up top as they work their way down into turn number 3 and 4 now. 2 cars now clear of the inside row. Almost 3 is Austin Johnston, able to maybe squeak down if he wanted to. Working off of 4. Here comes a run, maybe back by the inside, not formed up quite tight enough to make that work. Now the 33 will drop out of the outside line. He will drop to the inside line but go backwards and give the lead back to Chavez here with 14 to go that time at the line. Philip Chavez leads over Austin Johnston, the 41 of Kurdzlek, Essery's 4, and Steinhoff's 27 or 74 rather. The 5 cars on the outside line seeming to be able to make a move now. Maybe get down. We got trouble as the 77 gets into the 14, who gets into the 74, and calamity ensues on the back straightaway. Yellow is out with 14 laps to go for an incident involving Austin Johnston, Philip Chavez, Ryan Steinhoff, Jordan Marion, and Greg Robinson. Take a look here at the replay and see what happened. You're going to see the 14 try to come back across the nose of the 77 with nowhere to go. The 74 then comes back down and makes contact with Robinson's 3. So 5 cars involved in this one. The ride on the roof cam of the 77. You'll see the move of the 14 trying to come back across, but not quite clear up on the wall he goes. And the 77 goes and avoids inside wall contact with the wall there. So we'll take one more look here from another view as we'll see Jordan Marion's view of this one. He's going to ride through this as everyone kind of gets out of the way, makes a little bit of contact with the 77 as you see the 74 and the 3 get together on the back side of that wreck. So leader at the time of the caution, it looks like it will be the 41 of Michael Kurdzlek, leading over Chris Essery, Brian Burchett, Dave Hare, and Travis Rodriguez. Your top 5 here at this point with 13 laps to go, be 12 to go at the line. Maybe a little bit of jumbled up here in the top 5 as a few cars need to get back in position. Looks like Johnston will be given back the 3rd place position. See if he will come down to pit road though. After being involved in that accident, it's going to lock, definitely tighten the field back up, which got pretty broken up there during the final pit stop stint. So some cars headed down pit road, others will stay on track. We're going to step away here for a quick second for a final break before we come back and bring this one home for the end of this Quick Finishers Racing League Rocks 349 presented by AutoServ.
AutoServ of Charlestown has been providing trusted, high-quality auto repair and maintenance services in Charlestown, West Virginia. Specializing in everything from routine oil changes and brake repairs to advanced diagnostics, we service both domestic and foreign vehicles with precision and care. Choose AutoServ in Charlestown, your local auto repair expert since 2001. Now let's get back to the action on the track featuring the Quick Finishers Racing League.
Welcome back to the Quick Finishers Racing League on the SimWorld Racing Network. You are watching the Quick Finishers Racing League Rocks 349 from Talladega. 12 laps to go here under caution in this one. Should be getting the 1-to-go flag at the line. That'll put us back to green flag racing with only 10 laps in this one here tonight. So exciting finish looking in order for you here tonight as we get down to the nitty-gritty of this one. One to go signal given to the field as they start to double up this time through turns 1 and 2, looking for the green flag again out of turn number 4. Just 10 laps to distance left in this one once we get that green flag. So pull them belts tight one more time as we look to finish this one here and to crown the winner of the QFRL Rocks 349 from Talladega. This race is presented by our friends at AutoServ. Thanks to those guys there bringing you the presentation tonight. So happy you could join us online here on the SimWorld Racing Network. Field works its way through turn 3 and 4. Front row looks like it's going to be the leader on the outside. Kurdzlek's 41. You got Esri on the inside. Row number 2 looks like it's going to be the 33 of Burchett and the 15 of Hera. Rodriguez and Mathia in row number 3. Nelson and Wilson in row 4. That's Tyler Nelson and Michael Boone in row number 5. Chavez and Bowden make up row number 6. We get set to go back racing here in this one. Pace car to the safety of the infield. Like I said, pull those belts tight one more time as we start the run to the checkered flag here. 10 laps to go at the line. Restart leader is the 41 on the outside. First car to fire in that Geico restart zone. He's on the hammer, and we are back racing here quickly from Talladega. Looks like the 41 will change lanes before they start the finish line on that restart. Not sure if that is a rule or not here with this lead, but definitely made a lane change before crossing the start-finish line. So we'll see what plays out here, but nonetheless, he is the leader down the back straightaway in front of the SRE number 4. Getting help from Burchett in the 33, Rodriguez and Nelson in the 7 and 75. Now Hera, second car on the outside row at the restart. And Mathia, third car in the outside at the restart, will drop in line. Now in 6th and 7th this time. As we work through turn 3 and 4, back down to the stripe. We got 9 to go this time for Kurdzlek. Foul to the top 7 as they work their way on the bottom down the back straightaway. First car that has a battle on its hands is the Mathia 23. He's got the Chavez 14 outside. The 3 of Robinson also working that outside line as they try to make their way back up to the front. Both those cars involved in that last incident just a handful of laps ago. So looking to make up for lost ground as they were up towards the front of this one. Another even. Stevens with the 5th place 15 machine of Bale Dave Harris. So he is in 6th. Nelson is on to that 5th place position, still on track at the line. 8 to go for the field. Still the bottom single file line working the best here after the restart. They head down the back straightaway. Robinson gives a big push to the back of the Mathia 23. The 89 Wilson gets a little squirrely as he has to get out of the gas or run over someone as the 3 of Robinson pushes the 23 right out of the way to the top side of turn 3 and 4. Actually going to hurt maybe him and Hera, as now Matthias going to get a bump from the 14 down the front straightaway. Up front still Kurgelek, Essery, and Burchett leading the way here, but Matthias now gets to that outside. In even Stevens with the 3rd place car. A big push from that is Chavez in the 14. Tyler Nelson still in the thick of things here in his 85 there. Running in the 8th position outside Dave Hare down the back straightaway. Now the outside gets rumbling a little more as now another push from the 14 to the 23. They're going to be even with the 2nd place car of Essery. Almost even with Kurdzlek on the entry of turn number 3 and 4. They get there square and even through turn 3 and 4. Now 14 of Chavez pushes the 2 of those cars right clear of the inside of the 41 row of the 41. They're going to bring the 85 and maybe the 27 through with them. Looks like a big hit. Looks like a hit to the back of the 41 so hard he's lost his rear bumper cover. New leader though is Brendan Maffei here. Led his 2nd lap of the afternoon last time at the line. 6 laps to go. Tyler Nelson holds on to 3rd. Kurgelek 4th. Etzery 5th. Burchett 6th. The 7th of Rodriguez in 7th. Down the back straightaway. Maffei still getting pushed big time from the back. In the form of the 14 car, they work their way into turn 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, back down to the stripe, continues to be Matthias, Chavez, Nelson, Kurgelek, and Essery. Another big bump to the back of the 41 from the 4 cars. They hold on to the top 5 positions, and it's Burchett, Rodriguez, Hera, now, and Rodriguez make a move to the outside. Nelson going to try to go with them, but he got caught on the extreme high side. They're going to be 3 wide through the back half of the top 10. Robinson gives a bump to the 15, who's trying to close in on the back of the 7 out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Looking to make that 2nd groove come to life here late in this one. 5 to go last time at the line, before to go next time around. Rodriguez, Hera, Robinson working that top side pretty well that time through turn of the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. See if they can get some momentum up to close the gap to the leader here off of turn number 4. 15 still pushing hard on the back of that number 7 car. Now they're even with the 4th place car in line on the inside. That's Kurgelek's 41. The 4 is Essery there on the inside. Mathia, though, continues to lead in the 23. Chavez in 2nd. Tyler Nelson holds on to 3rd. Work their way through turns 1 and 2, keeping our eye on the battle here for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, as the outside row continues to struggle to make up the ground here to the front of the field. Still 3 cars single file out in front of this one, as the 2nd row still having some trouble getting going. Excuse me. Work their way back down the front straightaway. Now the inside row has tightened itself all back up. First 7th there on the inside row. As Chavez will pull out of line. Essery is going to pull out of line. Mathia is going to go to try to block. He's not going to have that clear. Now he does, as he'll block up in front of the Chavez 14. That's going to move the 85 of Tyler Nelson to the front of the inside row on the exit of turn number 2. Chavez still pushing hard on the back of the 23. Now they're going to go 3 wide for the lead down the back straightaway. Essery pushing Chavez. Kurgelek pushing the 85 down the back straightaway. Matthias stuck in the middle. He's going to get a bump from the 7. Nowhere to go for that middle groove, though, as Matthias doesn't have the speed that they need to keep it up front. Tyler Nelson leads off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. He's got the inside covered with Kurgelek behind him and Burchett 3rd car on the inside. Middle line looks like it's going to be Mathia, Rodriguez, and Hare. Outside is the Chavez and Essery connection. Down to the stripe, 2 to go. Tyler Nelson leads here on lap number 130 with 2 laps to go. First lap led of the afternoon for the driver of that number 85 machine. He's got clear of Kurgelek. Now here comes a big run down the top side for the 4 and the 14. See if they are able to make up some ground. Bowden jumps up now in front of them. to slow that run down. That's going to pretty much eliminate a push and shove effort, as we got trouble here as Chavez gets down across the nose of the 23. Caution is out here with 2 laps to go in this one. Big bunch of shoving brings the caution out for another time here this afternoon. We'll take a look at what happened. It looked like Mathia and Chavez might have got hooked together, resulting in a caution here late in this one. So Chavez tries to sneak down Mathia 23, but not quite clear, and he will get into the 23 car, and that will bring out a caution involving 6 other drivers here in this one. But again, this 14 and the 23 get together. 75 goes around. The 7 makes contact with the outside wall. So does the 15. 75 spinning around. Don't think Nelson hit anything, so he shouldn't have too much damage. He's able to drive away, but we'll take one more look at it. So nowhere to go for the 7 car. Gets run over from behind, and unfortunately cut right back across the track. Backs it into Hera, who was between him and the wall, to prevent him from backing it into the wall. But we are back under caution here again this afternoon. Tyler Nelson leads this one late, as there was only 2 laps to go coming to the white flag last when the caution came out. So looks like we are going to have some overtime racing here from Talladega for you tonight. Tyler Nelson leads the way over Mike Kurgelek, Brian Burchett, Ben Campbell, James Bowden, Chris Essery, Greg Robinson, Michael Boone, Jordan Marion, and Ryan Steinhoff, your top 10. Setting up for a good finish before that caution came out, unfortunately, so we'll regroup and restack the field and get set to go here in this one. As we continue here under caution, work down the back straightaway. I believe we will get the 1 to go signal this time at the line for the restart in this one. We work our way back through the tri-oval, looking to get the 1 to go signal this time out of turn number 4 for the field. As we get set for the restart here, it'll be a 2-lap shootout once the green flag comes back out. So row 1 will be the 85 of Tyler Nelson, the 41 of Kurgelek. Row 2 will be Brian Burchett and Ben Campbell. James Bowden and Chris Essery make up row number 3. Greg Robinson and Michael Boone in row 4. Jordan Marion and Ryan Steinhoff in row 5. Bradley Wilson and Austin Johnston make up row number 6. Travis Rodriguez and James Nelson will make up row 7. Philip Chavez, and it'll be Dave Hara, Brendan Mathia, and Michael Boisvert at the back of this one. Field slowly works its way down the back straightaway. We get set to go back racing again. 2-lap shootout here to end this one. Green flag, then the white flag, then the checkered. The key is making it back around to the white flag, because once that white flag is displayed, the race is over at that point, whether it's via caution or checkered flag. Once we get that white flag, the race will be deemed complete on the next flag, be it checkered or caution. So we get set to go back racing here. Looks like we have 19 cars still running on track. Of that, 18 on the lead lap. Only one car on track, not on the lead lap. That's the 32, Michael Boisvert. Shout out to Boisvert, actually picked up the Xfinity Series win on Tuesday night here from Talladega with the Quick Finishers Racing League. So mentioned on the Discord server, was his first ever league win for him. So that's a big congrats to the driver of the 32 machine. Into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out, and we are racing. A slow restart there on that one by Tyler Nelson. That might give the top side the advantage down to turn 1 and 2. Kurzelak getting a push from the 27, who's getting a push from the 4 as they work their way down side by side up front here. And the late stages of this one through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be Tyler Nelson to clear the front of this one as they work down the back straightaway. Kurzelak on the outside leading that row with Ben Campbell, Esri Boone there battling bumpers as they work back down into turn number 3 and 4. Still Tyler Nelson out front with the help of Brian Burchett. James Bowden, third car on that inside. Nelson might be in trouble here though, as he's got a big gap between him and the 33. That might let the 27 and the 41 use that momentum to get up and clear of Nelson. They do not get there as they break up the draft back down to the stripe. 1 to go this time by. Next flag finishes it, and we have a 3-wide battle with Esri on the top. Boone and Robinson making that work up there as Esri will clear Tyler, go all the way down to the middle groove, try to put a block on there as they are wrecking off of turn number 4. The race is back to the line though. It's going to be Esri leading the way over Nelson, with Robinson pushing that number 4 car down into turn 3 and 4. Now Tyler will go up to block a run from the 33. He'll come back down to try to block a run from the Bowden 53, who gets taken out. Now James Nelson will make a charge behind Bowden. He gives him the bumper as he will battle it out back down the line. Now it's going to be Esri and Greg Robinson side by side at the stripe. Who's going to win it? I think the win goes to Chris Esri. Greg Robinson second. James Bowden picks up third. James Nelson comes home in fourth. Tyrone Yo collects a top 5 at the line. We'll take another look at that finish to see how it all shook out at the end. See Esri noses it out there at the end in front of. Take a rewind it here and get another look at this. See if we got a better view. So there is the winning margin of victory. That right there is how this race ended. And we'll advance it a little more. And there is the battle for third. James Bowden picks up the third place finish at the line by that much over James Nelson. And then Boisvert there in the 32, 1 lap down, and the next car across the line should be Tyrone Yo in the 2. There he is, the 5th place. There's 6th, 7th. So calamity on the last lap ensues, bringing out a crazy finish here. We're going to take a look at the replay. Bunch of shoving and pushing. Bowden gets down off the track. Then Boone gets into the side of the 41, and then it was on like Donkey Kong behind there. So let's see if we can get a word with our top 3 here this afternoon. So it looks like the first driver we'll be able to get a hold of will be Greg Robinson in the number 3 machine. Hey Greg, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Second place finish, probably a little disappointed in that by about half a car length, but still a great race for you tonight.
Yep.
Just needed a little bit more there at the end.
Yes, I did.
Well, hopefully we can see you back in victory lane maybe next week at Texas.
I hope so. I did pretty good last year at Texas, so I hope so.
All right, well, we'll talk to you next week then, Greg.
Yep, I have to go to work now. Yay.
All right, that was second place finisher tonight, Greg Robinson. Now we'll see if we can get a word with tonight's winner, driver of the number 4 car, Chris Essery. And I just want to double check something. Hey Chris, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Big win tonight here at Talladega. You only led 1 lap, but it was the most important one at the end of it.
No, that's Gregory's win. I want them to give it to him. I just wanted to door him to slow him down, just coming to the line, but I turned him. That was not my intention. He deserves that win. He pushed me out there, got the run. But yeah, it was a super fun race.
A lot of pushing and shoving going on out there tonight, working together with everyone you could just to try to get in a good position for the end of that one. So it was a good race, and obviously, hopefully, we'll continue to talk to you. Maybe see you next week after Texas.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for Texas and Kansas, 2 of favorite tracks.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chris. Have a great evening.
You too.
All right. That was tonight's winner. Obviously, a little disappointed in how it all played out is the driver of the number 4, Chris Essery, said not looking to get into and spin out the driver of the 3 car, just looking to maybe slow him down a bit, but unfortunately not the case. The result was a crossing the line sideways for himself and backwards for the driver of the number 3 car. So still a great finish here tonight at Talladega. Let's take a second here to look at the final rundown from the race. The Quick Finishers Racing League Rocks 349, presented by AutoServ from the Talladega Superspeedway. Chris Essery, Greg Robinson, James Bowden, your top 3. Fourth was James Nelson. A strong run here at the end, avoiding all the calamity, was Tyrone Yo for a solid top 5 finish. Austin Johnston led some laps early. He comes home in 6th. Brian Burchett in the 33. He'll finish in 7th. Brendan Mathia in his first start of the 2025 season will bring his car home in 8th. Dave Hara rebounds back to 9th after being involved in that last caution. Philip Chavez also involved in the last accident, or the last caution prior to the end. There, he'll bounce back for a 10th place finish. Ryan Steinhoff, Mr. Superspeedway. Travis Rodriguez doesn't have luck on his side tonight. He will finish in 12th. Jordan Marion will come home in 13th. Michael Kerjlak leading at the up front at the white flag there, but unfortunately contact with himself and Boone started the big calamity off of turn 2. He will come home in 14th. Bradley Wilson, oh my gosh, I can't even read what's on the screen, comes home in 15th. The aforementioned Mike Boone comes home in 16th. A disappointing finish for the leader at the white flag, Tyler Nelson. He will come home in 17th. Ben Campbell comes home in 18th. Looking at the back half of the field and the drivers who did not finish the race. Outside of Boisvert was running at the end of that one. He will finish 4 laps off the pace in 19th. The drivers who unable to complete all the laps and finish out of this one: Zoltan Nudge in the number 98, Randy Sprouse is 17, Tommy Osborne in the 28, Tyler Sievert, Greg Barnett, Joshua Park, Stanford, and Josh Hetricks rounding out our field tonight. So again, the big win to the driver of the number 4 car. Chris Esri picks up his 3rd win of the 2025 season here for the Quick Finishers Racing League. So glad we could be on the air again with you tonight. The Quick Finishers Racing League rocks 349, presented by AutoServ here on the SimWorld Racing Network. And we'll be back on the air next Thursday night for the All-American Racing League from Texas, and then next Friday night we join you again here live on the air for race number 11 of the Quick Finishers Racing League season, as they will go to the heart of Texas for a Battle of Texas next week. Both leagues actually in Texas, so we'll talk to you either next Thursday or next Friday whenever you choose to join in next. Thanks again for joining us here tonight. My name is Nathan Christensen, voice of the Quick Finishers Racing League, and I want to thank everyone, and we'll see you next week here on the SimWorld Racing Network.